People today are learning how to have their own afterlife communications while sitting quietly in their homes or in any other place, such as a waiting room. They just close their eyes and the communications begin. These abilities have resulted from going through the free online training we have created. A link is below in the description. In this video, you will hear the accounts by people who have had afterlife communications using the procedure. These examples include validations that the people have had afterlife communications because they learned things they didn't know that were later validated to be true.
Prior to this exercise, thoughts of my husband mostly brought me sadness. I did this exercise twice. The first time was a trial run, and I ended the exercise at the count of 5. The second time, I found it to be so wonderful that I continued the exercise for an extra 15 minutes, enjoying the soothing guitar music. This was truly the first time that I found my sacred, quiet, love filled place. I had been looking for this during prior meditations, but it all came together for me just now. I found the room in my parents' house where my husband, his mother, and my parents and sons would gather for holidays to be the warm, loved filled room where my loved ones who had passed were gathered. I hugged each one and smiled a lot. Then I opened the screen door and sat on the concrete steps with my husband, holding his hand and putting it up to my face. He did not say anything, and no one else did. I did all the talking, but I felt a tremendous love and warmth. This was extremely healing, simply because thoughts of my husband now can make me smile, and I can go there on my own now. It is truly bizarre that I could not do this before without breaking down. Now I can spend time with him, his mother, and my father, who passed 2 months before my husband, while feeling love instead of the sadness I feel at their physical loss. I believe that my feelings of love represent clairsentience. I truly appreciate this meditation and find it of tremendous value.
When I went through into the white light, it was blank for a while as I decided what image or setting I was going to create. I thought about the loving place I had just come from and invite my grandma for a quiet beer. But I didn't need to worry as the garden scene from the previous session unfolded in front of me, and there was my gran, looking in her late 30s, looking radiant. The garden was mainly an impression of one, but was very vibrant with lots of colors, and Gran was picking big bunches of flowers, and then she placed them gently on the ground and invited me to sit on the grass with her. I got a deep sense of the spaciousness of over there, the vastness, the feeling that it's more real than here. I could see why people who cross over just want to get on with things, as that is the more real aspect to their life. I asked Gran if she had reincarnated yet and how it worked. I got the impression of a yellow daisy. Within that image, I unpacked the information which translated to, each petal is a life experience, yet it's still part of the whole flower. That is how I can communicate with her while she has incarnated again. She also showed me how she sends energy to her 2 daughters who are still alive, who very much need some good energy. She almost waves sparkles of energy across their consciousness while they're asleep. This is also to help them remember faster when they do eventually cross over. In the background, I could hear my partner getting up and moving around, so I thought I'd better bring the session to a close. Yet when I got up and came out of the room I was in, my partner hadn't got up at all.
I was ahead of the process. As soon as I arrived at the very beautiful garden scene, my dad and Fallon, my dog that had passed, were already there, well before the door. Things just started playing out, and I was trying to listen to and follow the instructions on the audio, and at the same time participate with what was playing out in front of me. There was a flash of brilliant light that shot across. Very interesting. I'm not sure what that was. My dad looked young and handsome and bursting with excitement about seeing me, as was Fallon. It seemed that they wanted to just celebrate our being together, while I wanted to apologize for not being the best daughter and caretaker. Apologizing because I felt they deserved more and better from me while they were here. I guess I expected a different response from them. I expected them to reminisce with me my shortcomings and accept my heartfelt apologies, but they were like, forget that. Be here in this grand moment, right now, and be joyful with us. Invaluable. Another amazing experience that I had not expected. What made the whole thing real for me is that it was not what I expected. I would have, and tried to, script the entire thing differently. I wanted to use the opportunity to apologize and for them to recognize my sorrow and accept my apology, but they would have none of that. They were all about the boundless joy.
I experienced a very clear connection with my loved one. He's only been gone a little over 5 months, but his presence was very strong. Since Frank died in April, I've felt his presence at certain times, but nothing as pronounced as tonight. We were able to have a conversation, and I was able to tell him how much I miss him and how difficult it has been to live without him. I was surprised when he told me he is also missing me in the same way and was sorry he had to leave. He reminded me of the only prayer he wanted said around his bed while he was dying. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. He told me his death was something neither one of us could change, no matter how hard we tried. He told me that it's important to move forward and not look back. My experience brought forth tears, but my pain did not seem to weaken my connection. Overall, the experience was extremely helpful in decreasing my feelings of grief. I feel very blessed to have had that precious time with Frank.
I saw my father, my brother, and my son as a group together. I then asked if I can first just talk to Andre. George, my brother, replied that they understand. I started having a conversation with Andre regarding very painful circumstances surrounding his death, especially the last 4 months. I asked him if he would still have been here with me if I used another approach, if I didn't fight for his life but just been loving and supportive and not anxious and desperate, and in the process just added to his desolation. He replied that if that did not happen, something else would have, that we had an arrangement to play these roles in each other's lives, that he is learning and exploring with me. He reminded me that he chose me, and again he said, always remember I chose you. He said that my brother George needs to have time with me. He came over and I started crying. I was so angry with him before he died. I gave him an ultimatum. Stop using drugs or you are out of my life. I revisited those words again and again the last 6 months. I missed the George who was my brother. I asked him the same question. Would things have been different if I used another approach? He commented that he would have manipulated it anyway, and it would have been no use. He just hugged me and said that he, my father, and my son are all three exploring life's possibilities with me now.
I like this stage the best. I relaxed while listening to the guided relaxation and went to my place of love. I can go there easily. It is a very familiar place to me now. Sometimes there are more people than others. This time when I went, my son was a little boy, and he was playing with his Saint Bernard, rolling around and laughing. We didn't have dogs in our house, but he has dogs he cares for now. He ran up and jumped into my arms and nuzzled his head in my neck and just held on tight. I could feel the love and familiarity. He reached out and my mother came to us. I told her how much I wished she had been with me when I was a mom and could have been with my kids and been their grandmother, how much I would have liked to have her to learn from. She said she was always around, and I did a wonderful job as a mother. She guided me even though I did not know it. Then Jimmy was grown up, and my boyfriend came over and hugged me and wanted me to just feel the love, and to always know they are with me and to feel the love they are always surrounding me with. Jimmy went back and forth between a child and a grown-up. He said to remember how happy he is now and at peace, learning and feeling the love he never could completely hold on to here, except when he was with me, and as an adult he couldn't always be with me. He had to learn on his own. When it got too painful and he couldn't go on anymore, he was allowed to come back home. He wanted me to come visit him whenever I wanted, now that I knew how to reach him, to try to feel the love and peace that I am always surrounded with.
I was sitting on a tree stump. My grandma came dressed like I remember her before she got sick, and she was grinning from ear to ear. There was thought exchanges of love and acknowledgement, and then I asked the question, why did you have to spend the last 2 years of your life in bed with diapers and all that suffering? She answered, it's just part of life, and it's okay. It's something I had to go through, and some lessons your mother had to go through. It's just all part of the journey, and you don't have to understand. I know what you were feeling, sadness and guilt, because you didn't visit me, because you couldn't stand to watch. I know what you feel, but I want you to know it's all okay. Don't feel sadness. I know you love me. Maybe this was a lesson for you, for me, for her, for anyone. We're all on our own path. But I love you, and that's what I know. With that, I just felt an overwhelming sense of love, acceptance and contentment from her, and I said, you can come visit me anytime, Grandma. I'm here for you.
These afterlife connection experiences are common today. Thousands of people have gone through the self-guided afterlife connections training, with a great many having uplifting experiences of communicating with people now living in the life after this life. We invite you to go through the free online training at the link in the description.